Good evening, or perhaps good night, dear friends, and welcome. Tonight, we're setting off to peaceful realms where golden fields stretch in the Barley Hollow and warm twilights paint the olive grove. Our narratives flow gently, inviting you to where shadows dance among elder trees and sunset ambers wash over the Orchid Isle. We hope you find solace in these stories, and if you genuinely enjoy what we share, consider subscribing or giving us a like. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from tonight and what time it is for you. We love to hear from you. Now, find your comfort. Maybe dim the lights just a touch, or tuck yourself snugly under the covers. Let the world grow quiet as we begin our first story. Golden Rest in the Barley Hollow. Relax and let your heart drift gently. As twilight began to gather its robes across the Barley Hollow, a soft golden hue enveloped the landscape, painting a serene canvas of rest and reflection. The barley swayed with the gentlest of breezes, their stalks weaving together like a lightly whispered lullaby, each rustle a note in the evening symphony of calm. In every direction, the field stretched toward the horizon, rolling gently like the sea under a mellow sun. The air was warm with the remnants of the day, kissed by the sun's descending embrace, carrying the gentle scent of summer sweetness that mingled with the earth's own rich aroma. It was a time of day the locals called the Golden Rest, a perfect interlude when the day's tasks had been laid to rest. But before the night's hush fully settled in, nestled within this pastoral expanse stood an old stone cottage, its walls a patchwork of moss and aged charm. Its windows were aglow with the warm, inviting light of oil lamps, casting delicate shadows that flickered across the wooden floors. The garden that surrounded it was a riot of late summer blooms, dahlias and sunflowers reaching up towards the fading sky, while the deep, comforting scents of lavender and rosemary edged softly from their borders. Inside the cottage, the air was filled with the gentle crackling of a slowly burning log in the hearth, a quiet counterpoint to the whispers of the breeze outside. The walls were lined with bookshelves, brimming with stories that waited patiently to be unfolded, their spines a spectrum of aged and new, a testament to the lives and times they've accompanied. In the center of this tranquil haven, a woven rug invited rest, its patterns as vibrant as the world outside. A low wooden table held a steaming pot of chamomile tea, its floral steam curling upwards into the cool evening air. clinking of ceramic cups provided a gentle soundtrack to this quiet affair of sipping and reflection. The sun's descent painted the room with streaks of honeyed light, playing upon the surfaces with a subtle luminosity. As this light stretched further into shadow, an ease settled over the space, growing deeper with each passing minute, until the profound stillness of night began its gentle claim. Stepping outside, the gardens of Barley continued their slow dance in the dwindling light. Fireflies began their gentle parade above the fields, their tiny lights flickering in time with the stars. It was as if the earth had mirrored the sky, a scattering of lights both near and far, each a small, steadfast glow in the embrace of night. A small path wound its way through these lights, meandering down the gentle slopes of the hollow. Along this path, soft tufts of wildflowers grew in abundance, their colours muted by the dark, but their presence undeniable to those who walked along. The path beckoned for a gentle stroll, an unhurried amble to feel the earth beneath and the expanse above. The moon rose slowly, a silent guardian casting its silver light upon the landscape, turning the barley to fields of snow under its gaze. Each stalk shimmered with a celestial glow, making the mundane miraculous, each bend of the path a revelation of beauty. Returning to the cottage, one might pause beneath the old oak tree that stood sentry nearby, its branches spreading wide like a comforting umbrella. The night air was filled with the chorus of crickets serenading the waning day, their song a timeless rhythm of continuance under the stars. In this gentle world of twilight, the mind was free to wander, to recollect and release the hours that had gone before. Reflection here was as natural as the breath upon the breeze, the thoughts unfurling like the ferns at the forest's edge. Slowly, with grace, and with an ease that invited peace. The murmur of an owl from the copse beyond was reassurance and reminder of the world's quiet cycles, each call echoing softly between the trees. This vocal night watch inspired a tranquility steeped in the natural order of things, grounding the soul in the familiar cadence of dusk. The cottage, now fully embraced by night, radiated warmth and repose, curtains drawn against any draught, though the warmth of the evening needed little exclusion. Instead, the sounds of the barley whispering with the night air played faintly through the gaps in the wood and stone, a gentle lull to soothe even the most restless spirit. Settling into a favourite chair, its cushions worn with love and memory, comfort instant and encompassing. The world outside seemed to sigh softly, a concordance with the body's natural wane. Under the pale glow of a single lamp, the pages of nearby books tempted with tales as old as the brass fixtures that adorn the shelves. But tonight was a night for musings as gentle and aimless as the drifting clouds. Overhead, the ceiling beams, sturdy and timeless, echoed the whispers of age-old companionship with those who had sought rest below. Their dark wood provided solace and an invitation too irresistible to cast off concerns for another day under the protection of their watch. Sipping once more from the now cooled tea, the fragrance of chamomile still lingered, extending its soothing touch deeper into the house, into the soul. Each sip was a tiny reset button, a reminder of the simplicity of being and the luxury of unhurried grace. In the heart of this nearly forgotten hollow, interludes of silence and sound crafted their own kind of narrative, as rich and as poignant as any written word. And as these stories of silence and sound mingled, they wove themselves into dreams, where reality and imagination danced hand in hand, yielding finally to the call of sleep, as the last of the embers glowed softly in the hearth. A gentle peace settled like a warm blanket over the body and the room. The whispers of the barley field outside became the dreams of the night, promising new dawns with each rustle. The moon, now high, kept watch over this delicate tableau, bathing the hollow in its cool light. In this place, where time seemed to slow to the beat of a gentle heart, the serenity of the summer night was a balm, enfolding everything in its tender, unspoken love. Thus, the night stretched on, a quilt of soft symphonies and tranquil shadows, a whispered song of rest, as dawn's gentle fingers began to trace the sky. The golden rest of the Barley Hollow gave way to the first light of morning. A new day awaited beyond the gentle embrace of sleep, promising warmth, wonder, and peace to those who dwell in its serene embrace. Softly, the first chirps of awakening birds joined the quiet symphony of the morning, their melodies tender and hopeful as they greeted the dawn. The sky blushed with the soft hues of pink and lavender, unfurling slowly, as if stretching after a restful night. And the cool, nocturnal air gradually welcomed the sun's gentle warmth. Within the cottage, the soft rustle of linens the scent of the morning's promise wafted through the apertures left by partially closed windows. The air, fresh and invigorating, carried the crisp hints of dew-kissed earth and the rich undertones of awakening flora. The garden outside was graced by a soft drizzle of light that kissed each petal and leaf, turning the dew into a collection of tiny diamonds that sparkled with each glimmering ray of sunlight. The late summer blooms reached up eagerly, vibrant in their renewed display of colour, each petal a canvas celebrating the arrival of day. The cottage, with walls that had stood steadfast through countless cycles of the sun and moon, was slowly stirred into life. The gentle bustling within echoed softly against the stone, an ensemble of the everyday. The clink of a pot, the soft creak of floorboards underfoot as feet padded softly across well-trodden paths. Breakfast, a simple and comforting affair, carried the aroma of freshly baked bread and the buttery sizzle of eggs, harmonizing with the light-hearted chatter that filled the morning air. Each bite was as soothing as the surroundings, infusing the day with the kind of satisfaction found in embracing the simplicity of life. As the sun climbed higher, the barley fields that had swayed through a silvered night now gleamed golden, shimmering under the clear, expansive sky. The whispering dance of the night lent way to a lively rustle, a joyous applauding of the dawn. From the garden, a small wooden gate creaked open to welcome the day's first step beyond the confines of the cottage. The path, still bordered by wildflowers that nodded gently in agreement with the breeze, beckoned anew. Each step upon the earth was a gentle relinking with the world. Each bend in the path, a new view upon which to linger. By the time the sun was full and bright in its arc, the warmth had settled over the hollow, a comforting mantle of light. Shadows played lazily among the leaves of the mighty oak that dominated its patch of ground near the home, its shade inviting for moments of reflection. In this harmony of light, sound, and gentle breeze, life floated unhurriedly, like a feather carried on a gentle current. The minds of those who dwelled within the hollow were free to dream even amid waking, crafting each moment into a narrative of contentment and grace. Around midday, the birds' chorus reached a crescendo before settling into a softer melody, their energy yielding to the peak warmth of the day. The world seemed to pause in reverence, acknowledging the seamless progression from morning's promise to midday's fulfilled embrace. As evening approached once more, and the shadows began to stretch into familiar patterns, a coolness hinted at its pending return. With the setting sun, the vibrant colours mellowed into the soft palette of twilight, and the ritual of golden rest begun again. In this perpetual cycle, where each sunset promised the dawn's inevitable embrace, life in the Barley Hollow was both a tapestry and a dream, beautifully woven into the cadence of nature's rhythms. Here, time was a gentle friend, one that guided its custodians with the assurance of continuity and the promise of peace. And so one story ends, and another begins. Let yourself sink a little deeper. As the sun began its languid descent beyond the horizon, the sky was painted with hues of gentle peach and soft lavender. It was a midsummer's evening, warm and tactile, where time seemed to slow its relentless march, inviting stillness and contemplation. Here, in the heart of the rolling countryside, lay an ancient olive grove, its twisted, silver-leafed trees whispering secrets of centuries past to any who paused to listen. The path through the grove was soft underfoot, padded with fallen leaves that released a subtle, earthy fragrance when crushed. Alongside, wild herbs sprouted sporadically, their feathery tops waving gently in the almost imperceptible breeze. Sage and lavender, mingling with the olive, created a tapestry of scents that wove around the senses like a familiar lullaby. In this serene sanctuary, the light fell in dappled patterns through the gnarled branches. It was a slow light, lingering gently as if reluctant to bid farewell. Shadows stretched lazily across the ground, creating pools of coolness amid the warmth of the geese retreating heat. As you wander deeper into the grove, you can feel the temperature subtly shifting, the air tinged with the refreshing promise of evening. Listen closely, and you may hear the gentle rustle of leaves stirred by the wind, like a soft sigh against the quietude. An occasional chirp punctuates the orchestra of the grove's twilight chorus, where nightingales begin their tentative serenades. Nature's lullaby, carried by the wind, invites you to lose yourself in its calming rhythm. From nearby, a small brook weaves its way through the grove, its babbling waters carving a melodic path, a continuous thread of sound interlacing with the song of the birds. The brook speaks in whispers, a muted conversation with pebbles and moss, engaged in an age-old dialogue with the earth. As you approach, you can see the water shimmering in the beneath your hand like a silken ribbon. The touch of the water is like a comforting balm, calming every thought, encouraging you to linger just a little longer. As evening unfolds its deeper shades, the sky shifts to a rich indigo, the first stars piercing the canopy with their twinkle. Above, the olive trees stand silhouetted against this celestial tapestry, their branches no longer defined by the green leaves, but by the deeply expressive forms they take on against the night sky. You rise and continue along the path, finding your way to a small clearing in the grove. Here, the land opens up slightly, offering an expansive view of the horizon where the last rays of sunlight flickered. In this space sits an old wooden bench, its surface polished smooth by years of use. Settling upon it, you feel the warmth of the long day retained in its wooden body, a gentle reassurance beneath you in this moment of repose. The world seems to shrink into a singular, comforting presence. You feel closely nestled within the arms of the grove, its natural embrace soothing and unfathomably welcoming. Night has laid its blanket, softening the edges of the world, inviting you to close your eyes and simply be. The air now carries the faintest hint of jasmine, a sweet, intoxicating aroma that meanders through the grove, blending harmoniously with the earthier tones. Each breath you take is a blend of these subtle fragrances, drawing you further into a cocoon of ease and tranquility. Fireflies begin to dance, small lanterns of nature twinkling in and out of existence with a mesmerizing pattern, as though they are tiny stars fallen to earth to keep you company. Their light glows warmly, flickering amid the shadows and complementing the silvery moonlight that now lays a gentle halo across the grove. The olive grove, in its peacefulness, becomes a world unto itself, suspended between the realms of sleep and wakefulness. It sings a gentle lullaby to any who listen. The hum of cicadas rising and falling in gentle crescendos. The pinpricks of stars above merging into the soft, earthy tones that encompass the night. For a moment, you feel the ancient roots of the grove reaching out, their histories and stories overflowing in silent communication through the touch of the earth beneath your feet. Each tree, an echo of those that came before. Each leaf, a quiet testament to the seasons that have cycled through this space. Their wisdom, a quiet companionship in the still of the evening. Slowly, the world seems to dissolve around you. Time loses its dominion. The rhythms of the olive grove's night become your own. A slowly beating heart, a timeless tranquility set to the cadence of the earth's oldest melodies. You remain cradled by the universe in the grove's gentle solitude. Each sigh of the wind, each twinkle of the stars leads you deeper into the tender embrace of rest. As your eyes grow heavy, you feel the soothing weight of sleep approaching, a final, gentle tide. The dreams that come are whispers against the ear, borne on the breeze, stories tucked within the whispering leaves, and the song of the nightingale. They carry you away through the olive grove, across the brook, and into the peace beyond the evening's edge. Comfortable and easy as the world stretches, sighs, and settles into the night. Comfortably as the world of dreams envelops you, another gentle symphony unfurls. A distant hooting of an owl greets the night, echoing softly through the grove. The owl, a silent guardian of the twilight hours, sits perched high on a branch, silhouetted against the brilliant quilt of stars. Its steady gaze watches over the grove, eyes gleaming with a wisdom only the nocturnal possess. The gentle flourish of a breeze sends ripples across the canopy, rustling leaves that shimmer faintly under the moonlight. This breeze, a cool caress, carries the sweet undertones of honeysuckle, its nectar-like invitation sweetening the air. The grove feels alive, wrapped in its eternal nighttime ritual. Every sound and scent, a nod to the secrets it cradles. A low, comforting melody arises from the depths of the grove. A frog's throaty chorus, originating from a small pond hidden amongst the olive trees. This mellifluous sound dances over the gentle murmur of the stream, knitting together the nocturnal orchestra. The pond, reached after following the gurgling brook, turns out to be a hidden gem woven into the fabric of this serene sanctuary. Lilies float gracefully along its surface, their snowy petals glowing like tiny moons scattered across a dark velvet sky. As the night draws on, you feel the air shifting softly, embracing the warmth and the promise of a blessing deep in this peaceful cradle where thoughts float like gentle clouds drifting across the mind sky. Here, under the vast, inky firmament sprinkled with Perhaps the dreams are of places your heart yearns to visit, whispered tales of adventures under faraway skies, where imaginary creatures roam and the impossible becomes possible. With each breath, the calmness unfurls around you like a gentle wave, its tide of serenity pulling you deeper into yourself, softening the edges of the day vanished. Above, the moon stands as a sentinel, a half smile gracing its face, guiding the night with its gentle glow. The silver light flows over the edges of the grove, cushioning corners and softening all rigid lines into smooth arcs of shadow and light. In its glow, everything becomes fluid and bright, their boundaries dissolving under its touch, rendering the night an unmarred oasis of quietude. Time meanders slowly through this nocturnal stage, minutes fading seamlessly into each other. As the moon traverses the heavens, its path is marked by the progression of shadows stretching and shifting, a silent script being written by the universe. The grove stands steadfast, as though it is a realm apart, cradled in eternity. In your dream, you journey further still, beyond the grove, the brook, and into an open meadow under this starlit sky. Here, wildflowers sway in rhythm to the night's breath, painted by moonlight into shades unknown to daylight. These flowers to you seem to hum harmoniously alongside the stars above, both connecting in an endless dance that ensnares all of creation in its gentle sway. The stars blink knowingly as you lay in this dream meadow, their light blessing the earth and lending it a soft, almost ethereal glow. Each star, a wandering storyteller, twinkles with tales from far galaxies, adventures gleaming in a universe too vast to completely understand, but comforting in its endless continuity. Feeling embraced by this celestial orchestration, you drift yet into another layer of quiet repose, where the heartbeat of the grove becomes your own. The air, fragrant with night's bloom, fills each inhale, brushing the inner silence with waves of serenity. In this sacred silence, you sense stories etched into every woven tendril of the olive branches, each a bridge to worlds unseen, drawing you deeper into restful slumber. Held in this calming sphere of night, sleep's tender embrace seems inevitable, a sweet descent into dreams, where weightless peace gently teems, and so the stillness stretches, a soft ribbon winding through time, carrying you on this journey until the first whisper of dawn kisses the horizon, and as you finally drift beyond the borders of wakefulness, carried by the grove's timeless lullaby, you find peace, with the narratives of the night settling tenderly upon your heart as a promise of another day's adventure, wrapped in the gentle assurance of dreams. There's no need to rush. Just breathe and let the next story find you. As the sun began its languid descent beyond the rolling hills, the ancient grove of elder trees basked in the softest hues of gold and amber. This grove, tucked away in a secluded valley, was a world unto itself, where the cares of the outside world seemed to dissolve into the warm embrace of the evening glow. The elder trees stood tall, their gnarled branches weaving intricate patterns against the deepening sky. Leaves whispered softly among themselves as a gentle breeze wandered through the forest, carrying with it the faint melodies of distant birds settling into slumberous nests. The air was infused with the sweet, earthy scent of summer, a perfume brewed by the long sunlit days. Beneath these venerable giants, the understory was alive with subtle rustlings. Leaves crunched underfoot, the echoes blending with the symphony of gentle clicks and chirps from crickets, beginning their twilight concert. Here and there, the pale faces of wildflowers swayed lightly in the zephyr, each one a delicate masterpiece of nature's design. At the very heart of the grove stood an ancient stone bench, moss-covered and worn smooth by countless hours of quiet contemplation. It was here that visitors to the grove often found themselves drawn, as if the stones held a memory of the stories whispered beneath the stars. Tonight, the bench awaited your presence, inviting you to settle and become part of the grove's timeless tale. As you lowered yourself onto the cool surface, the stone felt much like the touch of well-seasoned wisdom, grounding and constant. You closed your eyes for a moment, feeling the grove around you breathe in unison with your own gentle rhythm. The very essence of tranquility descended upon you like a soft, shimmering veil. In the spaces between the leaves, the sky showed glimpses of sapphire, growing richer as twilight deepened. A chorus of fireflies began their luminous dance, flickering softly amongst the elder's branches, miniature stars glowing bright one moment, only to vanish into obscure shadows the next. They created an ever-changing twilight mosaic, a ballet of light and dark that captivated the imagination. The hush of evening thickened, a velvet stillness interrupted only by the occasional rustle or sigh of the wind. The grove became a cradle of sound and silence, an echo of time's gentle passage from rain into night. You could almost hear the trees themselves, narrating tales of seasons long past, dreams yet to come. The scents of the grove, seasoned by the warmth of the day, mingled in the air, a fragrant blend of fresh-cut grass, the faint musk of moss, and the heady sweetness of elder blossoms kissed by the sun. Breathing deeply, you marveled at how the scent seemed to wrap around you, coaxing your mind to drift ever deeper into serene reverie. In this moment, with the world at rest and the evening sky slipping into its cloak of stars, time stretched and languidly unfurled. Each breath a slow and effortless movement, synchronized with the rhythmic sway of elder leaves and the distant roll of a summer storm rising somewhere beyond the horizon. The grove seemed to be suspended in a timeless dance, spinning centuries-old stories into the weave of the night. Stories told in soft whispers by the wind, in the gentle tapping of an owl's wings taking flight, and in the quiet ripple of a nearby stream hidden beneath a tangle of ferns and undergrowth. You listen to the stream, its quiet babble creating a melody as it slipped over smooth stones and whispered along the banks. Water lapping softly at the mossy edges. A tender lullaby meant only for those who chose to listen with hearts attuned to nature's gentle muse. Perhaps, you thought, there was a wisdom here, in this secluded realm, that had endured since time immemorial. A wisdom not spoken in words, but felt in the balanced harmony of living things, an equilibrium of life, nurtured under the watchful gaze of the elder grove. The warm summer night unfolded around you like a tapestry, embroidered with the delicate beauty of fireflies and the deepening shadows cast by the elder trees. The grove felt alive with the essence of relaxation and reflection, encouraging every thought, every worry, to dissolve like the mist that sometimes pooled among the roots at dawn. Stars began to peek through the deepening sky, diamonds glittering in the midnight blue, each one a distant dream cupped gently in the palm of night. It was easy to imagine the stars winking down favorably upon the elder grove, aware of its sacred tranquility. You felt secure, wrapped in the grove's soft embrace, embraced by the authenticity and simplicity of this pocket of nature, untouched by time's swift passage. The moment held you captive with a comforting sense of belonging, as though you were but another leaf in the grove's overarching canopy. With each passing moment, the dance of light and shadow lulled your senses deeper into restfulness, weaving your consciousness mystical fabric of the grove. Here was a blissful departure from demands of the day-to-day, an invitation to delve into the tranquility that hid between the layers of breeze and leaves. As the slow symphony of night continued to unfold around you, the relaxing spell of the grove deepened. A contentment settled into your bones, as ancient as the stars and as comforting as the gentle earth beneath your feet. The moment whispered promises of relaxing dreams and peaceful slumber until morning light. This was a place of understanding, of stories spun in a language as old as the world itself. And so the evening drifted, and in its gentle, caressing embrace, you found a profound sense of peace. Around you, the grove continued to whisper its secrets. The elder trees stood silent as sentinels, guarding a sanctuary of calm. Their presence was confident, yet humble, like old friends who've weathered countless storms and shared endless stories. You felt as though they were watching over you, imparting a deep-rooted reassurance that everything was unfolding as it should. The fireflies persisted in their dainty performance, their light substantial yet fleeting, dancing in a luminous rhythm, as if in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth itself. Occasionally one would approach, hovering near enough to illuminate a small circle of ground before flitting back into the nocturnal ballet, an inkling of joy painting the scene with ephemeral brilliance. As the night matured, you noticed how the temperature began to drop, air thinning into a fresh, crisp whisper that was neither cold nor warm. It was a perfect balance, a gentle nudge that encouraged you to draw your shawl closer, relishing the tender embrace of its woven warmth. Your senses, awakened by the serenity, could discern each unique sound that came alive with nightfall. Somewhere, an owl called softly, its voice lilting and wise, echoing across the grove like a grim guardian of the night. Further off, the call was answered, a soft hoot piercing the silence intermittently, creating a dialogue of shadows and moon-touched wisdom. The nearby stream, with its playful murmur, trickled gently through the underbrush, its melody a continuing narrative of this hidden world. The water seemed to carry with it both the stories of distant lands and a promise of continuity, a whisper of assurance that life flowed on steady and true. In contrast, closer to you, the insects kept to their tasks, a chorus of crickets crafting melodies, punctuated by the occasional drone of a cicada. Each note, blended with the whisper of leaves and night breeze, created creating an orchestra as complex and beautiful as the stars themselves. As your breathing grew more harmonious with the surrounding symphony, your mind started to wander along its path of dreams. It was a gentle journey, softened by the shroud of peace that wrapped around you. Those small worries that often lurked in quiet hours of stillness dissipated, carried off by the night breeze to be reshaped into distant stars shining with gentle brilliance. In the grove's embrace, time seemed irrelevant, a mere shadow of what you once knew. Instead, the moment expanded, each heartbeat drawing you deeper into this oasis of calm. It was as though each inhalation drew in a thread of the grove's ancient tales, weaving it into the very fabric of your being. The world outside the grove, with its bustling noise and endless demands, faded into a distant memory. Here, in this cradle of serenity, you were but another star in the vast tapestry of the universe, connected and yet wonderfully free. It was a feeling you would carry with you long after the night had folded into dawn. Eventually, the velvet sky began to blink awake with more stars, constellations mapping out whispers of divine stories, each star a bridge to dreams yet untold. The Milky Way arced deeply overhead, a river of light flowing through the heart of the cosmos, guiding your thoughts to the infinite. The heart of the grove pulsed steadily, moments unfurling like petals into the night's quiet embrace. As you sat there, enveloped in the tranquility of the elder trees, even your own thoughts seemed to dim, replaced by an enticing drowsiness that beckoned you into deeper rest. Slowly, gently, your eyes closed against the night, the weight of your eyelashes a tender reminder of the rest that awaited. The whispers of the grove, a soft lullaby that promised solace and serenity, continued to wrap around you, as gentle as a mother's touch. Somewhere in your mind, a door opened silently into a world where dreams took flight. You drifted effortlessly, buoyed by the harmonious melody of the grove's nocturne. The peace here was something tangible, a sensation as real as the earth beneath the stone bench, as sweet as the scent of elderflowers on the cool night air. In this gentle passage from wakefulness to slumber, the boundaries between earth and sky, between reality and dream, began to blur, leaving nothing but a seamless transition into a realm of golden reverie. Your spirit sighed contentedly, sleepy whispers echoing the lull of the stars above. before you fully surrendered to the soft embrace of sleep, you felt the grove's final gift, a gentle fluttering of the leaves, a soft kiss of a breeze, brushing your cheek like a benediction. And with that, you descended softly, sweetly, into the embrace of your dreams, into the night's eternal grace. Let your thoughts grow quiet now. Our next story is waiting for you. As the last carriage across the narrow bridge found its way to the small island, leaving nothing but the soft hum of distant waves as ambassadors of the mainland, the island appeared to sigh, settling into the embrace of early twilight. It is beneath the evenings belonging to summer that the Orchid Isle finds its true colours, sprawling in gentle defiance of the day's zeal, poised delicately between land and sea. Here, the orchids are not merely plants. Their blooms of magenta, fuchsia, and alabaster unfold like tender secrets into the humid air, cradling pearls of dew even as the day's warmth ebbs. The island's paths are intertwined with tangled greenery and blossoms that carpet the earth, forming a living mosaic that intoxicates the senses with each fragrant inhale. At the heart of the isle stands the old lighthouse, its stonework bathed in the golden hues of the fading sun. The tower rises elegantly amidst the orchid fields, a sentinel watching over the tranquil waters. Its windows glow softly, catching the last rays of sunlight, which scatter like fireflies in a slow, luminescent dance across the land. In this tranquil hour, the lighthouse keeper, a gentle soul by the name of Elias, finishes his daily routine. Each evening, he climbs the spiraled steps to tend to the beacon, his footsteps echoing against the worn stone stair. The climb is a ritual premised on tranquility, each footfall slow and thoughtful, reminiscent of a familiar, unhurried waltz. The air at the top of the lighthouse, open and liberating, carries the scent of salt mingled with the sweetness of orchids that reach up towards him from below like verdant whispers of affection. Standing there, Elias tends to the large lens, polishing and turning it with careful hands, allowing the soft golden light of dusk to kiss each facet as it goes. Beyond, the sea rests, resplendent under the sky now awash with colours of rose and amber. Gentle ripples mark its surface, reflecting a kaleidoscope of memories born only in the serene encounters between her and horizon. As the last of the sun dips gracefully, the lighthouse slowly wets its wings, trees are framed by orchids that sway gently in the breeze, the blossoms forming a protective fringe around homesteads nestled in nature's vivid tapestry. Stepping outside, barefooted on the cool paths lined with sea-smoothed stones, Elias feels each step connect him deeply to the earth's slow exhalation as night approaches. The sky deepens, its flowing canvas of pastels yielding to indigo. Fireflies gather above the orchids, their lights winking in rhythm to a nocturnal symphony carried by the whisper of the sea. The chorus of crickets seesaws gently, blending seamlessly with the occasional call of a far-off seabird. Elias walks down toward the shore, where the ocean meets a small lagoon. The water shimmers beneath the veiled starlight, and he sits quietly on a stone worn by time and tide. The cool touch of the evening breeze enfolds him, heartened by the rhythmic lapping of the water that caresses the rocks with silken persistence. Before him, the other end of the lagoon is graced with the silhouetted presence of lush mangroves, their gnarly branches stretching into the atmosphere with arms tipped in emerald. They stand as sentinels too, shaping the land's songs with the gentle stirrings of their leaves, which chime in subdued resonance every time the wind brushes past. His gaze wanders to the horizon, where the last traces of daylight wane, casting a serene glow upon the ancient stones of standing rocks that mark the edge of the isle. Their contours are soft in the dimming light, edged in whispers of silver. It is here that Elias closes his eyes, allowing the alluring orchestration of nature to free him from the rhythms of the day. The air feels thicker, cooler, as if urging the world to ease into repose. It is within these cherished moments that Elias finds reaffirmation in the unhurried cadence of life around him. As the minutes unfurl into hours, the island slips comfortably into night's embrace. Every breath of the sea, every rustle of the cane grass sings a lullaby older than memory. Glancing once more across the lagoon, Elias rises and makes his way back, tracing the path through the orchard. He dips his hands into a bowl of cool water by his door before retreating inside. Within the comforting walls, the room is softly lit by the amber glow of a single lamp, a favourite piece, glasswork spun in hues of cream and lilac, casting dreamlike patterns upon the walls. Kettles bubble on the hearth, their faint hiss like a whisper, calling him to unwind. He moves with the ease of practice, spooning fragrant leaves of jasmine and chamomile from jars into vessels that steep in silence. The curl of steam ascends, its scent commingling with the sweet promise of orchids. that linger through open windows. As night deepens, the room fills with the comforting weight of sleep-ready air. Outside, the world glimmers under a canopy of stars, each twinkle incomplete without the flickering pulse from the beacon, which glides over ocean and land in solemn witness. Soon, Elias finds himself resting, the covers unbelievably soft against his skin, cotton worn tender by years, embracing him as tenderly as the breeze outside. The lull of the waves continues to serenade the island in a tranquil, unbroken melody. Time slips through his fingers like the fine sands found by the shore. Overhead, the nocturnal dance continues. Swathes of azure and violet spreading their arms wide. A theatre set for dreams. And, with a gentle sigh, Elias lets go to dream of the Orchid Isle, its mysteries and solace, their stories ancient as the stones themselves. In his dreams, Elias wandered further into the heart of the Orchid Isle, where the paths of the world seemed less travelled, less burdened by the hands of time. The gentle rustling of leaves overhead created a canopy of tranquility, punctuated by the occasional drop of dew kissing his forehead. Even in dreams, the air vibrated with warmth, the kind that wraps around you like an old friend. Gradually, Elias found himself drawn deeper into the heart of the island, to a meadow where the night sky was mirrored perfectly in the still waters of a hidden pond. Around its banks, the orchids stood tall, their petals aglow under the silvered light of the moon, playing host to a symphony of frogs whose calls were like soft marbles rolling across a smooth surface. He walked with a light heart, each step releasing the scent of earth mingled with hints of jasmine. Night-blooming flowers opened their faces to the moon like eager children awaiting a story, their petals whispering secrets to the wind. Somewhere in the distance, the gentle murmur of a brook could be heard, a silvery thread that stitched the island together with music. Elias paused by a tall, solitary tree that rose like an ancient guardian of this tranquil space. Beneath its branches, time seemed to stretch and contract, as if moments could be measured not by the ticking of a clock, but by the rhythm of breath drawn deep. He reached out, his fingertips brushing against the rough texture of the bark, feeling years of wisdom flow under his touch. He settled against the tree, feeling its strength seep into him, and closed his eyes once more. In this space, the mingling of land and sea, earth and sky, carried him further away, and yet he felt Somewhere nearby, the soft hoot of an owl punctuated the symphony of the night, a reminder of watchful eyes and silent wings. It was a sound that spoke of no urgency, no disturbance, just a measured participation in the island's nighttime melody. Peace poured over him like the waters of a serene cascade, as tangible and refreshing as a mountain spring. In the enveloping softness of his dream, Elias saw glimpses of other islanders, kind faces etched with stories, voices shared over the aromas of rich, spiced meals. They moved through their lives like dancers in a slow waltz, guided by the gentle dictates of the rising and falling tides. Greetings were exchanged not in words, but in the simple nods and shared glances that spoke of a deep, timeless understanding. As he dreamed, time itself seemed an illusion, stretching and contracting like the gentle pause before an ocean wave folds back upon itself. The stars overhead did their stately dance, twinkles piercing the cloak of the universe, suggesting galaxies far beyond, yet intimately connected to this solitary isle. Elias felt the whisper of cool linen at his neck and the warmth of the sands beneath him, grounding him in the soft cradle of the island. The night was a tender promise of rest and renewal, unfurling slowly like the delicate pages of a book written in the language of nature's secrets. Upon the far horizon where the night met the dawn, a gradual lightening began, the first blush of morning painting the skin hues of peach and gentle gold. It heralded the approach of a new day, a ceremonial rite as old as the earth itself. Elias stirred, caught between sleep and wakefulness, the residual notes of his dream clinging to the edges of his mind like the fragrant hangings of mid-morning mist. He awoke to the soft chirps of early birds, the first voices of those joining the sun's daily ascent. Blinking, Elias welcomed the day's first light streaming through the window, dappling the room with a warmth that promised peace. He rose, refreshed and cradled by the very island that had gifted his slumber. Drawing in a deep breath, he reflected on the island's tapestry, every part of it interwoven into his life and dreams. The Orchid Isle was a haven, an echo of harmony that threaded itself into the lives of its inhabitants. And as Elias began his morning ritual, steps tracing back through orchids and familiar paths, he carried within him the gentle promise of serenity found within the embrace of this cherished island, a promise to be upheld with each new dawn. That's all for tonight. We hope these stories brought you a little comfort and calm. sweet dreams.